Electrocast.
Hold on to your butts.
We are changing the course of history as we see it. That is what Wesley demands.
Now, this affects Iris. Iris, where are you?
What you feel only matters to you. I do not entertain hypotheticals. The world as it is vexing enough.
Iris, I have a tip for you.
Don't take drugs!
Or Whatever Movies with Wesley and Iris.
What up, and welcome to Or Whatever Movies. I'm your co-host Iris, and I'm here with my older brother
Wesley
for the rando movie of the century, Young Guns. Going down, down in a blaze of glory.
That's the wrong movie.
Oh, shoot. What movie is that from?
Young Guns 2.
So, why are you all up on Young Guns?
Because you are all up on, let's record a thing. And I'm like, Young Guns at the moment is what I'm ready for.
Why are you ready for Young Guns?
Because, man, Young Guns is the bomb. You know what's weird about this movie? It's still, to me, it is a special movie. This one and like The Lost Boys were like the special movies that I never had at home that we didn't watch on repeat for whatever reason. I'm like, oh, Young Guns is on. Like, because we watched La Bamba over and over again. Don't you feel like this one was kind of missing from that, which makes it feel random to you?
Maybe.
And Lou Diamond Phillips at the time, in the space of something like 2.5 years, was in all the movies and then just kind of disappeared. But yeah, they would get drunk on set and insist that he play La Bamba because he just came off of that movie. Like, sing it for them.
They're like, do the thing, do the Richie Valens thing.
Right?
Aw, Lou Diamond Phillips. What a fresh-faced Lou we've got in Young Guns.
Yeah, he's ready. They're talking about Guns 3, which has on the poster, they did a promo poster for it, and it says Young Guns 3, but they crossed out the young because they're all like 60 now.
You know who would still see it, right?
Me?
Well, yeah, you and Michelle, Brian's sister. You guys are going to be midnight screening day before the premiere.
Wait, I thought who is she all about?
Emilio Estevez.
Oh, that's right. That's her, like, Roman Empire or whatever.
Oh, that she thinks about daily?
Yeah.
Ooh, I got that one. She's certain that one day, like Mom's certain that one day she's going to win the lotto.
Yeah.
Michelle is certain that one day, just walking around Cincinnati, she's going to run into the love of her life, Emilio Estevez.
Oh, man. She might have a shot, too. He's, like, long past the Paula Abdul marriage and stuff.
Yeah, what happened to Emilio Estevez?
He's around. John Fusco wrote Young Guns, co-wrote the screenplay. Let's see if it ever sees the light of day for Guns 3, alias Billy the Kid. And after a whole bunch of wrangling and trying to Emilio Estevez trying to get it off the ground, he is now set to direct it if they can ever clear the rights issues.
Oh, really? Well, what about, like, Ducks 3 or The Breakfast Club, like, Adult School Edition?
Oh, man. Where they're all the principal now?
Yeah, exactly. Which has a better cast of like 80s, 90s stars? The Outsiders or Young Guns?
The connection for Young Guns to Top Gun Maverick is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was with Emilio Estevez and became friends with him in The Outsiders. Our review available now at orwhatevermovies.com or wherever you get podcasts, which has a big cast, but, I mean, some of those people have kind of disappeared. Rob Lowe's still around. C. Thomas Howell, who? Last I saw, he was in a volleyball movie. Patrick Swayze is gone. But Tom Cruise, being in the cast of The Outsiders, really beefs that one up, except that Tom Cruise was also in Young Guns.
Who was Tom Cruise in Young Guns?
And at the time, he had never been shot in a movie. And he was hanging around with his friend on set. And he was like, go on, dress me up. I want to get shot. I've never been in a Western and I've never been shot. So they dressed him up at the end at Alex McSween's house. And they shot him when Charlie comes out the side door of the house.
Really?
Yeah. You see a freeze frame and you're like, oh, that's obviously Tom Cruise.
I totally missed it. Emilio Estevez is a pretty maniacal, unhinged Billy the Kid.
You don't think he's cute and charming?
In like a off his rocker kind of way. I mean, the cute and charming one is supposed to be the floppy-haired poet, Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, definitely.
Do you think that Charlie Sheen's jealousy was like actual?
I don't think so. Charlie Sheen was a star in his own right. I think he gets top billing in this movie, and he was unavailable to play and was talking to somebody. I think it was Lou Diamond Phillips, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm really jealous. I couldn't be in that movie because of scheduling conflicts. Charlie Sheen, of course, going on to becoming the highest paid actor on television for a brief time. He was a big star. And so when he got the chance, when his schedule cleared up, he jumped at the chance and and is widely derided. He's like the Dick Van Dyke of this movie. His accent is horrific.
A mom friend told me that Dick Van Dyke came up to her daughter's company's performance of Mary Poppins.
Yeah, he does that.
Really?
You know how it seems like Gene Wilder in the later years of his life really embraced a Wonka role and was sweet and genial, and everyone remembered him for that absurdly not family-friendly movie. It seems like Dick Van Dyke, he had his own show and all that stuff, but it seems like he's remembered and loved as a Disney legend and really embraces the whole Bert thing, being in the sequel and all that stuff. It's like that's his claim to fame now.
Has there been a Young Guns musical?
Not that I'm aware. You going to do that?
Yes.
It could be good. I mean, I guess all the movies have musicals, regardless of how seriously they're taken. Titanic definitely has a musical. I guess it makes sense.
Mean Girls has a musical.
Yeah, but that's obviously a comedy. I'm trying to figure out, I wonder if it would devalue or hurt the credibility of Young Guns if it became a musical. And it's absurd to suggest that this is a credible Western, right?
What?
Right? This is what I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely absurd.
My hesitation in saying that it's a credible movie is that obviously it's got a rock and roll soundtrack and it's all these kids and stuff running around. But I'm telling you, man, it feels elevated and it feels strangely like a serious Western to me.
What? You think that Young Guns from 1988 is a serious movie?
So I can't remember if I included this on my list of Westerns when I sat Kelly Ray down for her Western movie education, but it has a place for me in particular. I think 3 years later, it was upstaged by the undeniably serious Unforgiven as far as Westerns go. I mean, is Top Gun a serious movie? Is The Outsiders a serious movie? These are the movies that...
The Outsiders aspires to be a serious movie.
But it's still dumb kids running around, right?
Yeah, but Top Gun, something about military uniforms, I think, makes it more...
And volleyball? Volleyball in jeans?
Listen, there is nothing serious about Dermot Mulroney's performance in Young Guns.
Dirty Steve is legendary. How many times have we referenced Dirty Steve?
Why is he so dirty? Why are
Dirty
all the rest
Steve.
of them, they're all clean, and yet he's constantly, he and Charlie get dirtier as the movie goes on.
So good. It's commitment.
No, Young Guns, I'm sorry to say, is just about being badass. Did you see that opening sequence?
Yeah.
What are they shooting at?
Nothing. And they're using all their ammunition Predator style. They're just shooting to be shooting.
That's what I'm saying. And
it looks
that's why
awesome.
it cannot be, that's why it can't be taken seriously.
But they're all smiling to the camera and stuff, and they're all big cuties.
And Blondie's all infatuated with the China girl.
Celestial Maiden.
Oh, man. He is like one grope short of being a complete predator.
You think?
Yeah.
Wait,
so
no. Kiefer Sutherland was 21 years old. How old could she have been?
No, I mean, I didn't even think about that. She was probably young and I guess not a maiden. But anyway.
Oh, man, we got to source this.
They're dancing, right? And then he breaks into her room and accosts her.
Oh, man, it's love.
I didn't see any expression of love on her face.
Doc is rough around the edges. He eats meat and potatoes. She thought he was going to eat her.
Exactly. And then he's like, you're necessary. And she's like, oh my God, I love you.
So it's curious. He does give her crappy dead flowers, which seems ominous. But the other thing is, I mean, obviously Doc he's supposed to be the dregs of society, right? The young, shiftless young boys taken in by John Tunstall. But when she says, I cannot accept that, thank you, and she walks away and stuff, and he lets her go, and then he's like, stop! And she's like all scared. That's pretty aggressive.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And then he breaks into her window, climbs on top of her in her bed, and is like basically threatening her to run away with him. And then she falls in love with him.
Yeah,
that's
the 80s.
Talk about fantasy.
It's Kiefer Sutherland.
Fantasy
man.
Western.
Kiefer Sutherland, man.
I guess he's got the blonde hair and it's floppy and he's a poet and stuff, but I don't know. That doesn't make up for it.
Iris is like, Young Guns. What's in Young Guns for me? How about identifying with Yen's son?
Well, who else am I supposed to identify with in Young Guns?
I don't know.
Lou Diamond Phillips?
I just thought you would think that, like, Mom would think.
The dirty Mexican?
They're all, hey, Mexican Indian, you son of a bitch. Jose Chavez y Chavez.
So why is he Chavez and then the kid is Chavito?
Oh, Chivato.
Chivato.
So we're trying to figure out what that was. That was a weird thing all through the 80s. Because Chivo is goat, right? Or Chia. And then so Chivato.
No. Chivo is not goat.
What? Echo. What does Chivo mean?
Chivo is a noun meaning goat in Spanish.
Boom.
In some Spanish-speaking countries, the term chivo can also refer to a kid or young goat.
See, it's like Billy the Kid. He's like Chivato. He's like the young renegade dude.
Chivato, supposedly it means a snitch or telltale.
Okay.
Or a young goat.
Boom.
Between the ages of 6 months and 1 year.
So I ask you, what is your problem? What's wrong with Young Guns?
What's wrong is taking it seriously. I get it. There's the Murphy-Tunstall rivalry. Is that historical?
Yes, absolutely. This is, in fact, my second favorite political movie of all time after JFK.
Just shows how deeply political you are. So Murphy's got a beef outfit and Tunstall's got a beef outfit. Yep. Do you have a beef outfit?
Lady Gaga had a beef outfit.
What do you wear when you eat beef?
A smoking jacket.
So they got these beef outfits, these rivaling beef outfits, and then Tunstall is unceremoniously dispatched with, and the Young Guns are deputized. They run amok because Billy the Kid, and then...
Wait, they run amok because Billy the Kid? Well, he instigated it, but they're all interested in going after the Murphy Dolan faction and Sheriff Brady.
Yeah, Charlie is very interested in doing it non-violently. What's Charlie's name?
Charlie Bowdry, the actor?
No, Charlie Sheen.
Oh, the other Charlie.
Charlie wants to do it legally, but then once we do away with Charlie Sheen, that is, then I fear what's going to happen to this outfit when Emilio Estevez runs it.
Yep.
What's the actual quote?
So this is Curly Bill Tombstone. Even I'm worried what's going to happen when Ringo runs this outfit. Lord have mercy.
And then they continue to run amok until they're cornered. Now, I think what would have made this a serious movie is if they all went out in a blaze of glory and died. Maybe Doc could get away with China, maybe. But for Billy the Kid especially to get away, and you know, the Indian has like magical like power shield. And like the spirits protect him as he's riding in and out with the horses. But Billy the Kid should not have made it out. Now, is that historical?
Well, he does make it out of the war, the Lincoln County War. But then after Brady is dispatched, Governor Lew Wallace hires Pat Garrett, who shows up in this movie twice and tracks him down. Young Guns 2, dude.
I guess there wouldn't be a Young Guns 2 if Billy the Kid didn't get out.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So they needed a sequel. How is this movie political?
A whole lot of the Murphy, Dolan, Tunstall, McSween war is set up. The Lincoln County War is centered around that. It's not just mindless killing or an outlaw who fancies himself Robin Hood. It's really the story of how he was taken in, how the regulators were a semi-legalized turned outlaw bunch in retribution for this cattle war or government cattle contracts war.
So the government was basically just turning a blind eye to free enterprise and letting Murphy run amok?
Yeah, well, I think, yes, exactly. And presumably, although Murphy actually wasn't really at fault. He was seriously ill with terminal cancer when the war was happening. It was much more Dolan. But when you get Jack Palance, you got to let him be Murphy.
Jack Palance had kind of a James Caan stiffness going on.
He's old. But this is his jam. He went right from Young Guns 88 to Batman 99. This is like Jack Palance's year and a half of villainy.
You mean 89?
Yeah, 89. That's what I said.
You said 99.
Play back the tape.
Life is hard, but finding a really great podcast makes the days go by so much easier. Hi, my name is Blue Telusma. I'm a writer, an emotional intelligence coach, and the host of Humanize with Blue Telusma, a podcast where we believe that when you humanize everyone in the room, a great conversation is almost guaranteed. Join us every week here on Electricast as me and my guest co-hosts unpack big topics and interview even bigger personalities with a sense of humor and a dash of mischief. If you're looking for a new best friend in your head, we've got you covered. Electricast.
What's the best quote from Young Guns? What do you hear in your mind when you think Young Guns?
For this one, I remember Alex. It's not the best line of the movie or whatever, but I remember Alex McSween's line: "Active participation in the gun battle would negate my life insurance policy. I can't have that."
His life insurance? Do you get life insurance? Is there a claim if you get murdered?
I don't. Well, if you're murdered by the government, I'm not really sure. But I don't think Alex I don't think he expected to die. When he ran out of the house and he was like, "Ride, boys," then they gunned him down. The gunner, by the way, helming the Gatling gun was one Randy Travis.
Okay, well, regardless of who was actually operating the Gatlin, why did they wait so long to introduce the Gatlin? Why aren't you just pelting the house with the thing the entire time?
Because, man, those houses were made different. That was solid construction. You'd be wasting very valuable bullets. Okay. Did you note how bloodless Alex McSween's death was? I mean, everybody took hits, Doc and Billy and Chavez. Everybody took bullets, and Charlie and Steve, obviously. But when Alex gets shot, no blood. And that's because they had gone so overboard with in the final hour, they were like, hey, let's dial this back so we don't get an X rating. Because they got to show it on screen.
X rating. Wow.
So back then. So they
already are.
So they shot it less blood for Alex's death, which is good because his wife Susan was watching.
Yeah, I just figured it was all blowing out the back.
Yeah, like McCloskey's head all over Doc's face.
Oh yeah, that's pretty graphic.
Yeah, he's got bits of hamburger on his hat.
Ew, and then he was like, "But he's right."
Right?
Yeah, always kind of confusing to me why Doc went along so easily with Billy the Kid.
He
Especially
didn't really.
If he's like pooping his pants every time.
Yep, time to revisit Young Guns 2.
So it's not a quote, but what came ringing out of the depths of my memory when I watched Young Guns this time around was, I think it's Dermot Mulroney.
Durable McDillett.
Is that what his name is?
No, that was on Saturday Night Live when they were talking when black people couldn't remember white people's names, and it was like, is this Dermot Mulroney or Dylan McDermott? And they like show a picture, and they'd be like Durable McDillett.
Dermal McDillett.
Durable McDillett.
Durable McDillett. How did he go from like Dirty Steve to the love interest in My Best Friend's Wedding?
I don't know. He's got that lip. He's dirty, man.
It's when he goes when he's on peyote and he's like, "You guys." How does he do it?
You guys, you see the size of that chicken? I do think about that one a lot. And no, my favorite quote is when they're in the house and he says, "No more of that red ass Navajo Mamba Jahamba, Chavez. We're running out of time."
Mamba Jahamba.
Yep.
I guess that's just a Westernism of it. It's
a Westernism in that I use it fairly regularly. Red ass Navajo Mamba Jahamba. But Chavez had some magic, man. He like, what are we gonna do? And then he like gets an idea and walks downstairs and disappears, somehow escapes the house and comes back with horses.
Yeah. And
Durable McDillett's like, I knew it. He's off doing it with his horse.
Kicking out windows for no reason. All rampaging the house and throwing Susan's stuff out the window.
Man.
That was definitely the ongoing joke. And what did they call it? Heckling? Heckering?
What?
Remember at dinner when he's like, "Why'd you kill him?" He's like, he was
heckling. He was hacking on me.
Oh.
Sorry, Bill. We was just hacking on you.
That's the ongoing hack in this movie. But when you see Dermot Mulroney's face, now I can't get it. When he sees can you call it the cavalry if they're not coming to save you?
Yes, you can.
If they're coming to murder you? Okay.
Yes.
When he sees the cavalry come and he's like got that face of total abject dumb terror.
Yeah, the slack-jawed yokel look.
Yes, and he's all dirty and the chewing tobacco is like falling out. Come on. You can't take that seriously.
Yeah, Dirty Steve dies in a hail of gunfire, face down in the dirty mud.
Yeah, and he wasn't even part of the Dirty Underwear gang.
No.
Or was he?
Out of Liberty, Missouri?
What? See, now, this is not something you mention when you're trying to court a woman.
Yeah.
That you were once part of the Dirty Underwear gang. What does that even mean?
She was suggesting that she was unclean, too unclean for the likes of him.
And so that's how he levels with her?
Look, no one ever said that Doc was a romantic. He was only a romantic in his mind because he also fancied himself a poet.
All right, well, at least he wasn't a pugilist.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to understand the explanation of that word. Hog boy?
Billy the Kid is an educated man. How I hate him.
It's too Tombstone for you. This is what I think. I think this is the redheaded stepchild. Can you say that? I don't know if we can. Have we gotten to where we need to be nice to gingers? I'm not sure, but
you have to be nice to gingers and stepchildren.
Yeah. Young Guns is the redheaded stepchild to Tombstone, and you have a problem with it.
You know what, Wes? I think there's some credence to that. I think you might be right. I think Tombstone is a superior movie with superior performances, well, you can tell me if it's superior historical accuracy, and Doc Holliday is much hotter than Kiefer Sutherland's Doc.
Oh man, but the dueling Docs, that's funny. He carries that entire movie, and there's no, I guess maybe Billy, maybe Emilio Estevez, but there's no one that approaches Doc Holliday in Tombstone in Young Guns for sure.
Oh my gosh, his performance is spectacular. And even Terminator Guy is amazing. Kurt Russell's amazing.
Terminator Guy? Michael Biehn?
Yeah.
Johnny Ringo.
Bill Paxton's dumb, but not like Dirty Steve dumb.
How do you call yourself a Western if you don't have Sam Elliott in it?
It's what I'm saying. Sam Elliott should have at least done the voiceover or the narration.
Oh, man. Speaking of which, going back to JFK, Donald Sutherland is in that movie with Kevin Costner, and Martin Sheen does the narration at the top. It's the nepotism movie.
Legacy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Young Guns. All the kids.
All of them are children of Hollywood royalty. Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez. I don't know about Dermot McRoon. Oh, my gosh. Dermot Mulroney. Does he have? He probably has some famous.
Oh, my God. Oh my God. So you know how you find a thing and when you into adulthood and you're like, what? I never got this?
Yeah.
Brian Keith played Buckshot Roberts. And Brian Keith was the dad in Haley Mills' The Parent Trap. That's weird. Nobody cares about that. But Pat Garrett in this movie was Patrick Wayne. I wonder if there are any other famous like Western stars with the last name Wayne.
Like as in John?
Yeah, John Wayne's kid. The dude that gets a knife in the back by Chavez right after they kill McCluskey and he tries to ride away. That is Jack Palance's son.
So this is basically just nepotism, the Western.
But with nepotism, the good Western, the fun Western.
Tombstone's not good or not fun.
No, Tombstone is absolutely fun. I'm just saying that this movie is fun, and maybe that's the place that takes the place of being serious. If it's not a serious movie, at least it's a fun movie, as opposed to being a dumb or a cheesy movie.
Listen, I'm being a little harsh because you obviously unabashedly adore this movie, but it's an era, like we've discussed before here on Or Whatever Movies, where people still said it's a movie. They could excuse or write off anything unbelievable by saying it's a movie. And I don't think we don't do that anymore. We don't just say, oh, whatever, if that doesn't make sense. It's just a movie.
I do that. I thought you were crapping on my Western movie because I crapped on your Eastern movie.
You're saying this because we're recording Young Guns on the heels of recording The Boy and the Heron. Is that right?
Yep, The Boar and the Heron.
Wow. Wow.
You can call this Dumb Guns. You can. I don't care. You can be wrong.
Oh, man. You come in with guns blazing and I'm going to take you down. I mean, but is this a totally movie? Is this a movie that people should see? If you met somebody and they were like, blah, 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 some Western, you're like, oh, yeah, like Young Guns. And they were like, yeah, I've never seen it. What would you think of them?
Well, I tried to get Kelly Ray on board because I don't think she had seen it. And I watched it and I was like, okay, are you ready for Young Guns 2, which really takes it up to 11? It's more colorful. They actually have Bon Jovi doing a Western kind of soundtrack or whatever. It's a different movie, but it's all amped up in the way any good sequel should be. And she was like, no. And to this day, I'll think about it and I wonder, why did she so adamantly refuse to watch Young Guns 2? Was Young Guns so bad? And yes, it came from my childhood. It's in the conversation for my favorite 80s movies, and particularly Westerns, because Unforgiven doesn't count. This is my favorite 80s Western come at me, bro. It might be one of the only ones. This was kind of a resurgence where Westerns for a good while were out of favor. Hard to get financing for this movie.
And so how do you think it fits into the overall pantheon of Western movies?
It's a great ensemble cast for 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, maybe. There's so many of all the young stars. You get together, how many movies have all of the young stars all in one movie where you can point to it, like The Breakfast Club or St. Elmo's Fire, and be like, that's the Brat Pack, and they run Hollywood right now, and they're a bunch of young punks or whatever. This movie kind of had so many people that were huge in the 80s.
Young Guns, IMDb, featured reviews, 7 stars, Brat Pack goes west.
Yeah, except it's just Emilio and Carrie. It's like association with Emilio Estevez in this day and age, especially for more than one movie, grants you honorary membership into the Brat Pack.
8 stars, so perfectly over the top.
That's pretty good because when movies are silly and you take a historical event and real events, particularly political events, as political as the Lincoln County War can be, in action movies featuring a bunch of dumb cowboy kids or whatever, perfectly, sure. It wasn't cheesy, and it was, I think, very fondly of this movie and am willing to overlook its flaws. It's not perfect, but it feels good.
6 stars, interesting modern Western relies a little too heavily on cliche.
That's probably a little bit closer, but it doesn't rely, it leans on. It really builds on, and everybody is strong in this movie. They practiced. Emilio Estevez is really efficient with guns. Obviously, Diamond Phillips had a lot of knife training in. They all learned how to ride and shoot, except for Charlie Sheen, who apparently was terrible on a horse. It was a lot of dedication. It was a very physical movie. It was very dirty, and they got their hands dirty and really tried to sell it for as much as it was cliched. Probably cheesy, and probably the serious Western enthusiasts look at it and was like, it's a kid's movie.
Maybe, but it is definitely a young person movie.
I saw Kiefer Sutherland and I was like, wow, he's an adult. He has a beard. And now I'm easily twice the age of anybody in this movie that was a young gun. Terrence Stamp as John Tunstall, being only about a year older than I am now in playing that role.
Wow.
And he was
ancient.
the old man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's old man Tunstall. And so they're running around, and Chavez is like throwing knives off of horses, and Dirty Steve is falling in mud puddles. And it's a young kids movie for a young audience. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this movie as a kid. I think it's all right, I guess, as an adult. Although I can't imagine that I would revisit it if not for my older brother. And your final rating is?
I like this movie. I really like this movie. I own it. I watch it. It's I guess it's a comfort movie. When anybody puts me on the spot and says, what's your favorite food? For some reason, I keep coming back to Mexican food. Is it the best food in the world? Can you make it Michelin starred? Some of them do. But Mexican food uses the same 5 or 6 ingredients. Young Guns has 5 or 6 very distinct ingredients, key ingredients that just works. But I wouldn't say it's highbrow. I can't defend this movie as being highbrow or serious, but it's very comforting and delicious to me. And I'll give it one of my highest all right ratings, just because I really like this movie.
So this is like the Lonely Planet Mexican food, where they're like, well, if you go to LA, you should try it.
Right?
Versus like Tombstone, which is like, or Unforgiven, which is like the Michelin starred Western.
Sure. Even then, maybe not. It's just more upscale. This is the El Torito. This is perfectly serviceable, a little bit dated, but still strong. Nothing to scoff at.
Good for Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'll give it a good, and that's our discussion on Young Guns from 1988. Well, this may be Tombstone Light. This is Wes's Guilty Pleasure. Is it yours? Let us know, 818-835-0473 or whatevermovies@gmail.com is how you get in touch with us and let us know. We've also been getting a lot of comments on YouTube, where all of our episodes have recently been uploaded. So check them out, and thanks for listening.
Today is working for me. Do you believe that for yourself? Hey, I'm Pastor Julie, and I want to empower you through encouragement. Inviting you to my podcast, Big Truth Encouragement, where I unpack living a faith-filled life. I created my podcast for the ladies, but gentlemen, you'll gain something too. So I invite you to listen to Big Truth Encouragement on ElectricCast and any platform where you listen to your podcast.
ElectricCast.
Are you passionate about saving the planet for future generations? Do you want to learn how to do it? If yes, then you need to tune in to the Nature Back podcast. It's a talk show covering the changing world around us, from renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, circular economy, to ESG and social innovation. Don't miss this opportunity to discover how you can join the movement and make a difference. Subscribe to the Nature Back podcast today on your favorite platform and get ready to be amazed.
ElectricCast.